You're watching VStv, the only news, weather, sports, and entertainment channel exclusively for Midcoast Maine. VStv, real TV, real local. Above the Fold is what we call our news follow-up program, where we really want to look at the top stories that are in the news that week, that day, and really bring in those guests and talk to them in more detail. Welcome back to Above the Fold. Today we're continuing our conversation about the business climate in the Midcoast. We're going to bring in the newsmakers, the people behind the scenes, the policymakers, public officials, and we want to bring in reporters and editors too who are covering those stories, so we can really get a different look at what those key stories are and drill down deeper.
I think that the news cycle is too swift between Twitters and tweets.
You know, if a major issue is being covered in your city council meeting or your select board meeting or your planning board meeting, my guess is you probably don't get to go to all of those. We're going to be at every one of them, and we're going to have those officials right here on this set having that debate right here for you in your living room. So we think we can add a lot of value to those kinds of public policy issues and holding officials accountable, but we also think that it could be fun and exciting, and we're going to have some just generally good debate. The things that you're talking about at your workplace, at the water cooler, at your kitchen table.
Yeah, we're not suffering because of nonprofits. We're suffering because of lack of state support for education and with municipal revenue share.
Most of these issues in our communities, there are two sides to most of those issues, and there are proponents and opponents for each one of those. I get to serve as moderator for that. I get to keep it at a good level, but also probe both sides and hold them accountable for their positions as well. I think the words we use are intelligent, but engaging discussions.
Soup du jour is a fresh new take on how we get our information, what's going on in the community.
So what is Pachakacha?
Pachakacha is something that's been around since 2009, or PK. If you call it PK when you don't want to embarrass yourself.
We're sort of in between the big markets, but we've got so much going on here.
You know, I'm just really interested in the real organic personality that makes our area and the people within it what they are.
You do not dress necessarily like modern society.
I'm being dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
We're going to do the arts and the culture, and like I said, the tourists in your own town, which is the fun part.
So we have all these different locations. This happens over Columbus Day weekend, and these places often have lots of food.
Right now I am helping organize some of the marketing efforts, and I'm also involved with the Pachakacha piece, which is the Friday night.
Interrupt you right there, the Pachakacha.
This is a Pachakacha.
Pachakacha.
We're going to talk to everybody from volunteers at nonprofits to artists to
musicians, actors,
writers,
Local political figures, athletes, coaches,
cooks,
small business owners.
Yeah.
and this is a good chance to kind of mix it up and make a soup out of it.
There's so much in the communities that divide us, you know, politics or what have you. But sports is kind of the one thing that I think everyone can universally agree on.
When he had, 2 yards to go for the first down, he tried to...
There's definitely some diverse views. Actually, I do like...
Eagles fan!
I do like the Red Sox, but I am not a Patriots fan. And I have no problem sharing that with anybody that wants to hear about it.
I think the biggest thing for sports talk, and especially for us with the Fix here, is going to be that ability to talk local sports, talk national sports, talk about baseball, football, but talk about roller derby, talk about hunting, talk about fishing, crazy stuff. There's things out here that people probably have never heard of that we're going to be doing. We've got the U.S. National Toboggan Championship here every year. Sports
Sports is about passion, it's about emotion, it's about getting involved, it's about being connected.
I mean, you know, fan, as we all know, is short for fanatic for a reason. A lot of people really don't think rationally when it comes to, you know, the local high school teams or the national teams like the Red Sox or the Patriots or whatever. Everyone has a really passionate argument to be made. Right or wrong, everyone has their say.
The Midcoast has been a hotbed of sports activity and success for decades now, and it's been well documented both in newspapers and online coverage. TV has always been missing here because, to be honest with you, the bigger news television stations stick with the Bangor market, the Portland market, or the Lewiston market.
Sure.
I would say that this is the next step in the evolution of coverage, TV, for this area. I would say that forever newspapers have been there. People have read about had their names, their performances in the newspaper. Then they had it online. Then they had their photos in photo galleries online. Then they had little video snippets online. But now,
hey, I made this big play and I was on the news. Did you see me? You know, Grandma out in Tucson will be able to catch this, and she's not going to have to wait 2 weeks for a newspaper to be mailed to her.
Right. This medium is definitely the next step. He started out on a typewriter, you know, maybe 30 years ago, and now got live streaming video, and everybody wants that information now.
It's a big change for this area. And
Well, I think Nosh is going to be, it's going to be fun for you. It's going to be fun for us. And we're going to be examining what's going on with food and food-related things in Maine to show not only you, but everybody else that wants to look at this to see what's going on in the food scene.
Carrie, you and I are so lucky because we get to work with all of these great producers and farmers every day. They come into my store, they bring us great produce, they bring us great fish, they bring these things into your restaurant, and then we get to meet them. We know where the things come from. We also get to cook with it.
I try to do like things like, sweet potatoes? Oh, I could use squash.
Yeah.
It's like almost interchangeable.
Let's make a sweet pie.
Sweet pie, or savory foods, doing like a Thai curry with the squashes in there.
That's
the hot and the sweet, it's like on the money. Just roast them with garlic and olive oil.
When we get sun and when we get light and when we get warmth in Maine is a very consolidated season. And that makes everything that grows out of the ground and out of the sea so intense.
Here we are, this is like Flavorville right here.
Someone asked me, what is your favorite food? And I said, well, I know, but if you ask me in August, I'm gonna tell you it's blueberries and it's corn. If you ask me in July, I'm gonna tell you it's strawberries, because you have to eat it when it's so fresh and absolutely perfectly ripe. Well, and if you think about it, naturally there's been fads about seasonal cooking or farm to table, but in all due respect, that's what Maine has been about forever and ever.
It's all about quality and integrity.
Well, I think what you're talking about too, Carrie, is community. And I remember walking into the market and I was like, this is it. And the person I was with said, this is what? And I said, this is it. Don't you see it?
Oh man, look at this. They're not all like scrapped out. They're like beautiful.
I know.
It's sweet. It actually smells sweet.
So it's the place, it's the weather, the environment, it's what you see, it's the food, it's the producers, it's the whole thing that makes it. And you either feel it in your bones and your soul or you don't.
At Nosh, we're going to be covering everything, from chowder and hot dogs and donuts to lobsters, filet mignon, highbrow to lowbrow, and everywhere in between. If you like food, you're going to love Nosh.